Today, we will be discussing holistic care in emergency nursing, treating the body, mind, and spirit at the epicenter of crisis. A medical crisis follows a predictable psychological curve. The spike is the onset, sudden illness or injury triggering overwhelming anxiety. And your primary goals here are to reduce that initial anxiety and maintain absolute safety. The descent or trough brings denial, guilt, and anger. The upward slope is recovery, moving through grief toward reconciliation. A holistic assessment goes far beyond vital signs. You're assessing emotional expression and cognition to diagnose the immediate psychological presentation, anxiety, death anxiety, difficulty coping, and you're extending that assessment outward to family dynamics, watching for grief, interrupted family process, and impaired coping. Humanity remains constant even when consciousness is suspended. With the conscious patient, act confidently to anchor the environment, using appropriate touch and verbal reassurance. With the unconscious patient, treat them exactly as if they were fully awake. Use their name, apply human touch, explain every procedure before you begin it, and actively reorient them the moment they start to wake. Compassion requires a foundation of rigorous system safety. Think of it as layered defenses, staffing, protocols, communication, that normally stop an error before it reaches the patient. Safety depends on transparency. Every error must be rigorously reported and investigated to keep those barriers intact. The family is not a bystander. They're a secondary patient. That means keeping them continuously informed, managing the flow of information and emotional support as their facilitator, and encouraging physical presence whenever possible, including during active resuscitation. That integration builds trust and improves the family's long-term coping. Guiding a family through sudden death follows 4 steps. Secure a private room and speak to them as a unified group. Deliver the news in direct, unambiguous language, no euphemisms for death. Provide immediate support, chaplain services, water, physical touch, and room for emotional expression. And support the viewing with careful preparation and continuous staff presence. One explicit directive: never sedate the grieving family. Match your clinical response to the emotional presentation in front of you. For anxiety and denial, encourage questions and answer them honestly. For remorse and guilt, support them in verbalizing those feelings. For anger, allow full expression and redirect that energy constructively rather than shutting it down. For grief, validate the loss and bring in chaplain or social services. There's an invisible cumulative toll to constant proximity to trauma. ED staff face extreme traumatic events daily, and without intervention that compounds into compassion fatigue and eventually total burnout. Leadership's imperative is to actively monitor team coping patterns, emerging physical health problems, and hidden addiction risks. Psychological recovery needs structure. At time 0, the critical incident itself, diffusing offers immediate peer support and baseline reassurance before the shift ends. Within the first 10 days, debriefing is a structured, facilitated discussion to process the event and reach psychological closure. Long-term follow-up provides targeted counseling for anyone showing persistent symptoms. When COVID removed the physical barrier of visitation, nurses became the sole bridge for dying patients, the only present support at the end of life. Communication was forced through technology, hampered by device access, tech literacy, and socioeconomic limitations. The fallout was profound moral distress, guilt, shame, and high PTSD risk among staff, requiring aggressive deployment of counseling, pastoral, palliative, and behavioral health support. Nobody in the emergency department heals in a vacuum. The patient needs the body treated, the family needs the mind supported, and the caregiver needs the spirit sustained. Holistic care is an ecosystem. Families and staff require just as much structural support as the patients they serve. To bring it all together, holistic crisis care rests on 2 pillars. First, patient and family interventions, recognizing the 6 stages of crisis from denial through reconciliation, communicating with direct, compassionate language rather than euphemisms, and prioritizing family presence, even during resuscitation, to build trust and coping. Second, sustaining the ED caregiver, acknowledging that daily trauma exposure creates real risk of compassion fatigue and burnout. structuring recovery through critical incident stress management, with diffusing, debriefing, and follow up, and addressing moral distress with pastoral, palliative, and behavioral health support. Treat the patient, support the family, and sustain the caregiver. That's holistic care in the emergency department.